It's kind of annoying that you do things like that.
Get me in trouble. I'm in trouble already.
Batteries?
No, the lights
Sleep on it.
Isn't that the husband says, you get up every morning and say, I'm sorry, and
I don't even know how to say.
I don't know, it was something I heard, I get something in the morning, he says to his wife, I'm sorry, and that goes for the whole day.
So I got up on a chair.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you very much.
I don't know what the deal is with the mic. The green light is on, but nothing else is happening. Thank you so much for coming.
He doesn't want me to.
Let's get that out of the way. We'll do this Moses style without a mic. Anyway, I hope everybody's well. Shabbat shalom. The Torah portion is Tetzaveh, and it doesn't thrill me. It's a laundry list. It's just describing what the high priest and the regular priests are going to wear when they officiate before the Israelites. And the only thing I could say while I was reading it is the similarity between his uniform, his outfit, and tachrichim and shrouds. Now they're white, they resemble shrouds, okay? But first they start off with the olive oil, and then they go on to the priestly garments. Everybody wore a linen tunic, mechnasayim, which were linen breeches. Mechnasayim is still the word in modern Hebrew for pants. Mitznefet is a linen turban, and avnate. It really, the most fascinating part of the whole outfit I talked about last week. It was the choshen. Now, only the high priest wore the choshen. The choshen was the breastplate. It contained 12 precious and semi-precious stones. Anybody know why 12? That was the number of the 12 tribes, exactly. And they do describe them. They don't describe them this week, I don't think. They describe them next week. And next week, okay, let's talk jewels. The choshen, the breastplate, is the reason that we have the breastplate on the Torah. Although you'll notice that the Eastern Torahs, the Sephardic Torahs, do not have these things. I don't really know the evolution of how they dealt with the Torah scroll. Okay?
This is not working.
No, it's not. Can we bang it a few times?
Sure.
All right, my old man, we had a Crosley TV. Remember Crosley TVs?
I do.
12-inch screen, wooden case. Took it apart every weekend. Wasn't really sure how to put it back together again. We got, what, like 8 channels? Something like that. Also a test pattern.
That was a lot.
Okay? Well, anyway, getting back to the breastplate. The breastplate, as I mentioned last week, was capable of answering yes or no questions. And the most famous episode in which the breastplate was used, see, this is the thing. I mean, if you're going to go into battle, don't you have to send out scouts and judge the strength of the enemy and have a conference with your generals and all that stuff? Instead, all he does is he talks. This is David, mind you. This is David. Okay, David is no slouch in the wisdom department. He is truly a masterful politician. And he says to the breastplate, should I go to war against the Philistines? And the breastplate lights up, which means you won. The magic 8 ball says you should go to war. And so he does, and he misses it. I'm sorry, Stuart. Am I going to be on channel phone the whole time?
I'm sorry, I just had to
It's okay.
let somebody know.
All right. The important thing, though, and I write about these guys in my essay in the bulletin, there are 4 sons. You'll notice he has 4 sons. We don't know anything about his wife. And the older 2 are Nadav and Abihu, and the younger ones are Elazar and Itamar. I know I'm giving away the story, but Nadav and Abihu will come to a bad end. They're going to be the first ones to officiate before God at the coronation, so to speak, of the Mishkan. That's the sanctuary. Do we know the sanctuary? It's a tent. What's inside the tent? Hint. Harrison Ford was in a movie about it. Raiders of the Lost. Ark. Very good. The Ark is in the tent. The tent is covered with cloths, dyed lamb's wool, and of course the famous tachash. The tachash was either a ram or a dolphin. That's why the football team is named after that. And I go with the manatees, okay? I go with the dugongs. I don't know if you want me to sing the song again. I won't do that. Okay.
Yes.
What?
Sing
I
this.
met her in the corner and I asked her to dance. To do gong gong gong, to do gong gong. Thinking maybe later now of making romance. To do gong gong gong, to do gong gong. Just once. I did it twice a year. That's Rashi. You find that in Rashi. Rashi, really.
Then it must be right.
He never loses. But Nadav and Avihu, they're the older two, and they're supposed to officiate, as I said, the dedication of the Mishkan, which is a big deal, okay? And what happens is that, this is, I think, next week. See, I'm giving it away. What happens is that they do the wrong thing. They offer, and this is from the text, Eish Zara. They offer strange fire before the Lord. And the rabbis have a field day. And God strikes them dead. Okay?
Huh?
Oh yeah. It's dangerous in the priesthood. Really. That's why you got 4 sons, an heir and a spare. Because eventually Elazar and Itamar are going to take over. But let's talk. Why did God destroy? Number 1. Why did God destroy Nadav and Avihu? 2. What was the strange fire? And 3. Where was Aaron? Wasn't this his game? Wasn't this his ballpark? Wasn't he supposed to officiate?
It was his gig.
I'm sorry?
It was his gig.
It was indeed his gig.
It was
We really-
unauthorized.
I'm sorry?
It was unauthorized.
He's the high priest. Oh, what
No,
they
What
did.
they did.
No, I'm saying, why did he say, you boys carry the ball today and I'll be in the back having a matzah and butter? I mean, or a
That
piece
sounds
of
a little suspicious.
manna.
Maybe,
What?
maybe he got
It
told
sounds
something.
suspicious.
But he's not to be found. What is tragic, of course, is that Aaron leaps to attention and says to the other 2 sons, your brothers' bodies are in a holy place. Grab them by their robes and carry them away. And Moses says they did the wrong thing. And Aaron is silent. He keeps his peace. Possibly because he's in shock. Now, we have no mention whatsoever of Mrs. Aaron. She's not in the text at all. Okay? So it's all very strange. Anyway, over the years, they've come up with all different explanations for the death of Nadav and Avihu. The most popular one, because right after that incident in the Torah, there's a mention that you should not bring strong drink into the sacred place. Now, if you got the boys here, being dead, and they did the strange fire thing, strange fire means there was an incense recipe and they got it wrong, okay? And I grew up with this, because my mother, when it was burnt, when it was black, it was done, okay? But that was not incense. So they say the boys were nervous because it was their first coronation, I suppose, and they had a couple of stiff ones to give themselves courage. Anybody go with that?
Why not?
Wow.
It's the most popular explanation.
I guess we have.
Sounds good.
Sorry?
They were drunk.
Yeah, well, they may not have been drunk.
If you believe
But-
the whole story.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to drink before performing a service.
You're
So
not
they're-
supposed to drink before pouring.
Not
You're
liquor.
performing a service.
Well, because you should be under
That's what happens
complete
when you don't have a
control.
mic. Okay. You should not be under the influence. I'm sorry, Stuart. I don't want to pick on you any more than usual. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So it's my first pulpit in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and the co-officiant, who's going to do the Musaf, the additional service on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which is a big deal. And he's the son of the congregation, and he has gone on to great academic fame. He's the chancellor of, I will not mention the school. And he tells me, after he does the Musaf, the first day of Rosh Hashanah, I said, you did a good job. I was being diplomatic. And he says, I'll tell you why. I said, why? He says, because I have a thermos. I said, well, I have thermoses. He says, no. He says, my thermos is half tea and half whiskey. Are you allowed to daven if you are half tea and half whiskey?
Why not?
No.
Because you're not supposed to be drunk when you're
You're
officiating.
not in complete control.
Oh.
Right.
But in Yom
Yes,
Kippur-
Morty.
in Yom
What?
Kippur,
Maybe you don't
Yom
get
Kippur-
drunk.
Shh, what,
In Yom
Morty?
Kippur and my old shul, and it was before
Well,
the
he didn't do it on Yom
before
Kippur.
the evening service. The cancer makes a few shots and wouldn't fall down during service.
He's not supposed to eat anything on Yom Kippur.
Well,
Especially anything that's
they
80
give him
proof.
some liquor before.
Okay.
Make sure he stood up.
Well, this drunkenness thing is the best known explanation for why Nadav and Abihu get zapped by the Almighty. But more recently, okay, they've re-explained it. They've come up with another explanation to their credit, okay? When you come that close to the holy, and I'm saying that with a capital H, things can happen, okay? Remember we talked about the guy, oh gee whiz, I've told this story a few times. Okay, the Israelites are fighting the Philistines, and that was rough, because the Philistines were already in the Iron Age, and the Israelites were in the Bronze Age, and there's a story in the Hebrew Bible, this is later on, that when the Philistines came to town, they went around either enticing or kidnapping all the blacksmiths. So anyway, the Israelites are losing the battle. And the then current high priest, a fellow named Samuel, his two boys, whose names escape me, and I will accept any insertion thereof, they know that in order to build up the morale of the Israelites, they should take the ark and carry it into the battle. Isn't that a rah-rah, sis-boom-ba kind of way of building
The
morale?
heart?
The ark.
Oh, the ark. Okay, Spain.
The what?
The ark.
The ark.
Be that as it may.
I thought he said the ark.
Can Renee sit closer?
Fix the mic, hurry up.
Can you hear me, Yvonne?
Getting out of here.
Let's go to plan B. It doesn't matter, I got no mic anyway. Okay. All right. This is plan B. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm out of focus. But some
Yeah,
people
you have
that
no
might be a
head.
good thing.
And
All
the
right.
head.
Okay,
You mentioned it.
Okay, shh. All right. So they kidnap, the Philistines capture the ark, and it becomes war booty for them. The Philistines, of course, are idolatrous, as are all the other tribes in the Middle East and many Americans. So they take the ark and they put it in their holy place in front of their chief god, whose name is Dagon. Now, Dagon, when I was a kid, was considered a merman. He was man from the waist up and fish from the waist down. See, you can't make this up. All right.
But you are.
No! No. This is legitimate.
Repeating.
This was on the final.
All right.
Did
Okay.
you pass?
Well, but it turns out that Dagon was not a merman. Modern scholars say he was named after Dagon. He was a wheat god. He was a grain god. So they had a giant loaf of silver cup in their temple. All right. Anyway, so the Philistines come in the next morning, and lo and behold, Dagon has been pushed over. Somebody knocked Dagon over. And the Philistines' first reaction is, this is not good. This is really bad. Plus, he's made out of stone, so it's going to take some moving to get him back where he was. They move Dagon back where he was, and the next morning they come down. Mind you, the ark is still in front of Dagon, because it's a tribute to him. They come in, and Dagon, not only is he knocked over again, but the palms of his hands are cut off, and also his head, which in the idol business is a symbolic emasculation, although he's a fish, so I really don't know what he does. Okay. Then God moves to phase 2 in punishing the Philistines. He punishes them 2 ways, mice and emerods.
It's an emerald.
Hemorrhoids?
Preparation 8. Yes. God knows the most. It's in the Tanakh, Ross.
I don't know what you're talking. This last thing you described.
God sent a plague of
Right.
mice and hemorrhoids. Hi to the listening audience. Okay.
What station is that going to be on?
All right.
Yes?
Cut that part
It's
out.
going to be censored.
Okay. Shh.
Goodness.
And the Philistines say this is really not good, because again they're a few centuries before prep age. They build a brand new wagon made of the best wood they can get a hold of. They send an entire team down to Lowe's and they pick it up. Okay? I'm sorry, Al, where are you?
Lowe's.
Lowe's, yes, Lowe's. The place to build a wagon for the Holy Ark. And they take 2 oxen who have not been plowed with or allowed to copulate. Okay. And they put the ark into the wagon, they attach the oxen to the front of the wagon, and they point the whole thing in the direction of the Israelite lines. Okay? The Israelites, how do they react when they see that the ark is coming back? Are they happy or sad?
Happy.
They're incredibly delighted. And they run out to escort the ark. And there's one fellow, again, whose name escapes me, because the wagon hits a pothole. And if your wagon hits a pothole, what could possibly happen to the ark? Yes, you have an ark mishap. So he reaches out and touches the ark, and God smites him dead.
That wasn't nice.
No.
Well, think about it.
Who's trying to say
What
that?
is the ark? It is a wooden box. It is coated inside and outside with gold, making it therefore a very powerful conductor of electricity.
Oh,
And that's
lightning.
so.
Was
Therefore,
it raining?
moving forward now, today's biblical scholars believe that because Nadav and Avihu came too close to the holy, that's what happened to them. Their souls were taken away from them, and they were immediately transported to paradise. What do you think? Were they drunk or were they holy?
Electrocuted?
Sorry?
Were they electrocuted?
No, they were, no, God zapped them with fire.
Who put the ark
Oh,
into
it's
the,
bad
Into the
for
wagon?
Yes.
electricity?
They had volunteers.
Wouldn't that
but
be?
they didn't get nothing?
No, because
Nothing
they're
happened.
Philistines. Philistines aren't going to
That
get
was
zapped,
fire?
only
Would be
Israelites.
Yeah, that's.
Okay?
Could be
Nothing happened to
electricity.
them.
All right, any
Could be a short
questions?
circuit.
I have a question.
This turned out to be better than I thought.
Quick
Even with the
Hemorrhoids.
unusual
Because you
fire.
brought up before,
tangents.
there's no Mrs. Aaron that we ever hear of.
Correct.
We know that Moses has Zipporah, that's his wife, who we also never hear of.
She's
but
not
we
on
know- but
scene. She's back in
she's
Midian.
back somewhere in
He's got a
Midian.
very bad marriage.
Is there a Mr. Miriam?
A Mr.
Is
Miriam?
there?
We don't hear anything about Miriam's children, unfortunately. Miriam is very important, but she has been reduced to a wine cup. On the plus side, it's got her picture on it. And that is a genuine picture as passed down.
Yeah, but
Right.
they never
Through the
say
centuries.
anything about her being
Nothing.
married.
Right, I think she's a
Married or having
I think she's a
children.
brunette. What?
Nothing about her being married or having children.
No, she's important, but back in the day, you know, every Jew was important as long as they were a guy.
Yes.
She's a prophetess.
Yeah, but she doesn't really give prophecy. She only gets in trouble for the.
Gossiping.
I don't think she was gossiping. I wrote a piece last year. Okay, the episode is that Miriam and her sister-in-law Tzipporah gossip about Moses, and as punishment for gossip, because it's Lashon Hara, it's evil talk, she is smitten with leprosy. She becomes what one of my
That's all?
12-year-old girls calls a leper. Okay? Yes. And she was confined in a tent outside the camp. I wrote a very sympathetic essay where Tzipporah goes to visit her and bring her food and water, because the fact is, Moses has woman issues. Okay, we talked about this. He was raised in Pharaoh's palace by not one, but 2 mommies. Okay, just like in the book. And one mommy is his natural mother, Yocheved, the one with the wicker basket, sends him down the Nile. And the other one is the princess of Egypt, who some commentaries say converted to Judaism, and her name is Bitya, which should be Batya, but they say Bitya
And she
instead.
wasn't fertile or something.
Which one?
She wasn't fertile. the
She had
second one.
infertility issues.
Yes.
Yes.
But she had Moses.
But
No,
that's
well,
that's
yes,
how-
indirect. She gave birth to a basket. What?
Oh, yeah, no, well, I thought that was why
Wasn't
they
an empty
gave,
basket.
they gave Moses to her because she didn't have.
As a matter of fact, Moses' name, you know, in the Torah where it says Moshe,
Yeah.
his name was Moshe Ki Mishitehu. he was drawn forth from the river. That's totally wrong. It's an Egyptian name. We have Ramses, son of Ra. We have Thutmose, son of Thut. Moses means son of who?
Mo.
No, who?
Manny, Mo, and Jack.
No, who? We don't know his father, you see? And knowing someone's parentage was very important in those days. Okay? As a matter of fact, we do know his father's name was Amram, but he's only in the picture for a very short time.
I never knew about her
Oh, long
talking
enough.
to Tzipporah, and that, and.
I made that up.
He could have gone.
Because I thought she got,
It's over.
she became a leaper.
Yes.
She became a leaper
Yes.
because she was talking about Tzipporah, because she
Right.
was from Ethiopia.
Which makes her bad. Personally, I think all the Israelites were black. Okay? Because, hey,
We started in Africa.
you're in Egypt. Egypt is in Africa. In the 73 war, when the tide began to turn in the direction of the Israelis, somebody put up a sign saying, Baruch haba l'Afrika, welcome to Africa. Okay? But I think, as I said, Moses had woman issues. And later on, he gets married to Tzipporah, and she seems, by all counts, to be a lovely person. We have no information about her whatsoever. However, he has nothing to do with her. He has absolutely no contact with his two boys, Gershom and Elazar. Only one episode where Yitro, brings the three of them to visit Moses in the wilderness, and then they vanish from the text, except for that Lashon Hara, that evil talk episode.
Right.
So as I say, when I write my pieces, I try to make them as sympathetic to the women as possible. There is a subtext to the Torah, like the big three Middle Eastern religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It's a boys' club by and for boys. And I'm happy to say that the new generation of rabbis, more than half of whom are female, they are certainly changing the situation and the interpretation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. It was certainly unusual. And I'm going to turn things over to the cantor because he's much younger than I am. And we still have no mic. It's all right, Stuart. Thank you.
Yes, we have no mic.
Yes.
Yes, we have no money.
Okay?
Well, we can.
Shabbos. Soll sein in Shabbos. Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll die ganze Welt. Sholem, 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 Sholem. Soll sein in Sholem. Sholem soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll die ganze Welt. Klick, 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 klick. Soll sein Klick, klick, soll sein, Shabbos soll sein, Shabbos soll die ganze Welt.
So if we want lichtig, we have to light
Yes,
the candles.
Right.
Light the candles.
okay. Renee, you want to light candles?
I am going to do some
Because of the rain in Spain?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Something came on Wednesday. Plates up.
Please rise, ladies.
Warm the plates up on these rides.
Seriously, it's a wonderful time to see. Yes. You are.
Now?
Oh, yes, by all means.
Thank you.
Because it's a very solemn.
All right.
You're right.
We're lighting candles.
We're lighting candles.
Okay, we wave our hands over the candles. We're bringing Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav
V'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner. V'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner. V'tzivanu, v'tzivanu,
Sweetheart? Good Shabbos? Good
Good Shabbos, we almost had another incident. It was because he said Shabbos, he said the heart, and I thought he said the heart. I told someone who said the heart. And then I thought, oh my God.
Light a few more.
Good Shabbos, Renee.
Okay, Lachado D, page 21.
And 22. 21?
21 is you want to do 22?
No, I say he's going to start on 21 and finish on 22.
Oh, yes. We tried starting on 22 and going to 21.
It's a new number that we got.
Yes,
We are starting to be convenient.
I've never worked with this man before.
Okay. Lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat lekabela lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat lekabela shamor v'sachor v'dibur echad Shabbat lekover elcha ki mekor habracha berosh mikedem lezucha sof ma'aseh v'machashavat tehila lechadodi likrat kala Shabbat,
2, 4th stanza, face the door through which the Sabbath Queen will enter. Please remain standing. We have the cloth on page 28. We'll ask Morty and Yvonne Rumack to honor us by opening the ark.
28.
Yes, ma'am. Now towards the ark.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro mari barabim ובחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משלטים ומחלים את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשבולותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום הלילה גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומבין יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, אמרים
All right, I want you to hold the place, please, on page 29 and turn to 369. 369 in the back.
369.
Yes, ma'am. It is a reading adapted from Abraham Joshua Heschel. He is, he's up there. I don't know if he's the most important theologian of the 20th century, but he's certainly, I'd say, part of the Big Six, along with Rabbi Soloveitchik, Moshe Feinstein, and so on and so forth. I have a very nice photograph in my office showing Rabbi Heschel marching arm in arm with Dr. Martin Luther King on their way into Selma, and on that occasion, fighting for civil rights. Heschel said, I felt as if my feet were praying, because participating in a march for civil rights. Page 369, we do this responsibly. On Shabbat, we share the holiness at the heart of time. Eternity utters a day. Together,
we celebrate creation, we celebrate the sacredness of time.
We sanctify Shabbat with all of our senses. Body and soul partake of Shabbat.
Struggle and dissonance are forgotten. We are embraced by peace and by wholeness.
Eternity utters a day. Shabbat is a temple in time.
Shabbat is holiness in time, the presence of eternity, the moment of majesty, the radiance of joy.
We are reminded of our royalty, raised to nobility by our exalted sovereign.
Shabbat ennobles and enhances, and nourishes the seed of eternity planted in our soul.
Shabbat is a gift of dignity and rest, of holiness, splendor, and delight.
Eternity utters a day,
We bask in the radiance of redemption. Shabbat is a taste of the world to come, a time of peace, tranquility, harmony, and joy.
In time to come, the promise of paradise will be restored, a messianic covenant of peace designed for all creatures.
We are grateful for the gift of this Shabbat as we anticipate the time when all will be Shabbat. Amen.
Amen.
All right, back to page 29. 29.
That was very nice.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ומים ונגה יומם בלילה יומם בלילה כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ומים ונגה יומם בלילה יומם בלילה ועבדך אל תשים ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
I think tonight the cantor will honor us by doing the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shekinah Mahuto Le'olam Va'ed. In the English paragraph, let's read that together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Reading silently at the bottom of 30. Page 31.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמן.
32 in the middle will come up to the Michamocha.
ומלכותו ורצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לכהנו שינה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם נלמוך באלים אדוני נלמוך אלוהים הקודש נורא בוקע בדברי משה זרי עלו ועברו ונאמר כפר אדוני יעקב הגיע לו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני God Israel.
33, as we customarily do, on the top left, as we go around, and someone if there is someone you know, Jew, Gentile, friend, relative, in need of refuah shalema, quick and speedy recovery, please mention their name. All right. Refuah shalema. Yes. Refuah shalema.
Jerry Rock,
Refuah shalema.
Robert Hiller,
Refuah shalema.
Tony DeGina,
Refuah shalema.
Ivan Kamenek,
Refuah shalema.
Jenny
Jeannie Sylvester.
Refuah
Jeannie
shalema.
Sylvester.
Yes.
Rose Lees,
Refuah shalema.
Todd Austin,
Refuah shalema.
Lauren Mallett.
Refuah shalema.
Moshe Ben Yosef, Cy Bloom,
Refuah
Marty
shalema.
Fogel, Bart Dozer,
Refuah shalema.
Serafina Klein, Bart Reynolds, Russell Shopker.
Okay. Yes.
Jerome Rada, Maurice Rice,
Refuah shalema. Yes, Al.
Me,
Oh, okay. All right, before Shlema.
Joel
Okay.
Kuznets and Arlene Carl.
Before Shlema, yes, Linda. Before Shlema, okay. Yes, coming around, yes.
Esther Newhouse, Stanley Kahn.
Before Shlema,
Bruce Martin, Bella Dub.
before Shlema,
Rebecca Weinstein.
before Shlema,
James Basmajian, Larry Morgan.
before Shlema. Okay. All right, we'll read the paragraph on the top left. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spread the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and all Jerusalem and the entire world.
Okay.
Pros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai. Praise sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol hamo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen. 34, the Shabbat. Shabbat b'nei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת, לדורות המלית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורות המלית עולם.
ואני ובני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורות המלית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני, את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורות המלית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורות המלית עולם. Please rise, have Kaddish, Bible 34.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה.
Amen.
ועלמא דיברה חילוקי וימליך מלכותך. ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתענן ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קודשם לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה קדוש וחרתה ונאמתה תמירה מרמה תמרו
35B and concluding on page 38, after which you may be seated.
את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
All right, the full Kaddish is on page 48.
הנה דוד קדש שם רבה יאללה בני ורקלו דבי אבני כמו לקחותו וקוי כל וקי לכל בית ישראל ועלה מזמן גנים ואם לא יש בערב ארנורה יאללה ויאמר מאיה יתברך משתבח ויתפר ודרום מדרסה ויתעלה ויתעלה ושמי קודשה לה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונכבדה מרים למאמין לא תתכבד צלות הרבות לכל ישראל כדמה בוגוד משמעיה מגיעים לא יגי שלם הרבה משמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל מגיעים לא עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יאמר יושבי צבר ויאמרו אמן יעשה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יאמר יושבי צבר ויאמרו אמן.
All right, 49 is the Kiddush. Macharot will distribute the wine. Sorry,
No, what does it mean?
female macher is a macharot.
Cocktail waitress.
Yes, thank you.
Juice, just juice. Thank you. Juice. Wine or juice? Oh, I got sign, see?
What?
Yeah,
I got, we have a sign now, I don't have to.
This is juice.
Leaded, thank you very much.
All right, the weight of the,
Oh my God.
Coming around.
Juice for the juice.
Let's go with the real stuff.
The real stuff, the hard stuff. Yeah, really.
Everybody back?
Yeah.
Okay. You should say.
I don't know. He's a spirit.
Okay. All right, we have the Kiddush on page 49.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei Amen. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו ואהבה ורצון הקהילנו ציגרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר נסיעות ישראל
Yeah, it's really. I always love it.
Page 51, we have the elevator.
The one we made.
Going to ask our president, and you are the president. This is the first gentleman.
Okay, I'll get a picture of it.
I didn't read it.
Oh.
The ark is closed. I'm going to ask everyone to please remain standing. The sad anniversary, the first anniversary of the shooting at the Parkland High School, Stoneman Douglas, was yesterday, and we're going to commemorate the killing of these young people by doing the Kaddish together. Yid Katal, Yid Kadash, Nerachol, Amen. Yom Ad Yivrach Yerutei, Yom Nifmachutei. Chayechon, Yomechon, V'chayechon, Beit Yisrael. Alav, V'zman Karim, Yimru, Amen. Yehi Shnei Rabah, Orach, Lechem, Omer, Mayah. Yitzrach, V'yishabach, V'yitzbar, V'yitruah, V'yinaseh. Yitzadar, Yitzaleh, Yitzadar, Shmer, V'yishar, V'yuhu. Le'elam, V'yikol, V'yikata, V'shirata. Tushkata, V'nikemata, L'amiran, V'yalva, V'yimru, Amen. Yehi Shlama, Rabba, V'yishmaya. V'rayim, V'yim, V'yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'yimra, V'yaseh Shalom. Amen. All right, please be seated. And now we have a few announcements by our wonderful president.
Glad to see you back, Rita.
I missed all of you very much last week, and I'm very glad to be back too. I thank you for all your calls and your concerns, and I just love seeing your beautiful faces and a beautiful new face. Welcome. So happy to have you with us. I have a lot of things to tell you about upcoming events, but first I'm going to tell you about tomorrow, our more traditional Shabbat service, which will be followed by Rabbi's class.
Yes, we're going to be discussing Hermann Cohen. He was arguably the greatest Jewish philosopher of the 19th century. He was the one who invented the term ethical monotheism. There you go.
Well,
Sorry to miss that.
yeah. Well, ethics are really very interesting, and of course, Rabbi's classes are always more than interesting. They're just wonderful. We're blessed with Rabbi Mark and with Cantor Javier for our spiritual lives and our educational lives as well. They're both really very gifted teachers. Come to our morning minions, 8:45 Mondays and Thursdays. We need you.
Coming.
Please come. We need you. We need you. Come to morning minions. It's such a lovely way to start the day. Like Mr. Rogers would say, it makes for a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Please do come. And on Thursdays after Minyan, Cantor Cantor Javier has a class as well, and this one is going to be.
We are going to move from the Kabbalah Shabbat to the service of the Friday night service, not the area, not the first part. We are starting the second part.
Really to be studying the things that we say kind of automatically from childhood. We know the service so well, but to really delve into it with Cantor Javier gives a whole new refreshed meaning to our prayers. Both in the minyan, our minyans that Cantor conducts always have a lesson in them too, but it's a different way of looking, a refreshed way of looking at what we say all the time, sometimes by rote, but it gives you wonderful thinking. Next Friday is our joint Shabbaton with Federation. We've had really a wonderful response. If you haven't signed up, please do. We want to make a wonderful showing for Temple Sholom to be an active part and a recognizable part of the greater Fort Lauderdale, the greater Broward Jewish community, and we can do it this way. So I'll be in the office Monday with Anna. Please come in, call in, and we'll be happy to help make that reservation. It will be wonderful. Tomorrow evening, we have a special event in that our own Laura Durant is doing a book signing for her new book called Listen. Please come, 7 o'clock. It is going to be interactive, it's going to be very lively, and it's even going to be a little bit delicious because Laura has brought some lovely things for us to nosh on afterwards. But it's really not to be missed. And we want to support all the wonderful things that our temple family does. And this is an extraordinary thing. I'm sure there have been other authors in our congregation in past years, but Laura's our author of the day, so please do come. Next Friday night is the Shabbaton. Next Saturday is the
Shabbos with Murray is doing the.
Right, Murray, our own Dr. Murray Lichtenstein is doing the Haftorah. Murray as well is going to be resuming his, I'll tell you what we're doing. We're so far ahead that we're planning summer events.
Wow.
And Murray is going to be doing a renewed lecture series this summer. We're also going to be having a series by Reverend Darrell Powell and Rabbi Green, who are called the Thought Provokers. And they're going to be doing a series for us as well. We're going to have a very educational but very uplifting summer. On March 17th, we have something special. The Annette Finger Foundation for Remembrance and Learning, which we just had an event for the hidden children. We are going to have the privilege of having the producer of a film that has not been released yet, but has won many awards. Her name is Randy Rogers. She's coming down with a film. It is called The Accountant of Auschwitz. It is a post-Holocaust film. It's not suitable for children under 14, but it is a very important award-winning film. That's going to be Sunday evening, the 17th at 7 o'clock. Wednesday, March 20th is Purim.
Yay.
Get your costumes ready. I just ordered my costume. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to be. Come in costume. Our Purim celebration is called Pizza and Megillah. So you can guess what we're going to be having. and we're gonna have a wonderful, we're gonna be having, we're gonna be having a really wonderful, wonderful time, so please join us.
What time?
We
Yeah, well, we are going
need
to.
volunteers for our spiel, yeah, if you wanna participate in a little, pseudo spiel. It's not a full play, but, just let Cantor Javier know, and, we'll be happy, and our rabbi. And we'll be happy
It's going to be in
to,
English, don't worry.
in English, right, you don't have to be
Do you not have to
Spanish
talk in Spanish?
What time?
Right, it is going to be, I believe it's 6:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll see it in the
Between
bulletin.
6 and 7.
Right,
It'll be in English, but there'll be simultaneous translation
Right,
this
right.
time.
So come for pizza and Hamantash on Wednesday evening. And
Does that
then
mean
the
we don't
following,
have current
the
events?
following, well, it's holiday. Since we're a synagogue, we have to celebrate our holidays. Even before our classes, but you'll enjoy celebrating this holiday with us. We have booked a caterer for Pesach, which will be on April 19th. Please come and spend the first Seder night with us. It will be like being home, but even better.
I may very well
So
do that.
we are already accepting reservations. We'll have information for you on the specifics of the price for it. We're having a wonderful new caterer doing it. Check the bulletins. There's so much that I'm sure I left something out.
Okay.
The 19th.
The 19th of
It's
April.
a Friday night.
Friday
It's a Friday night.
Yeah, yeah. So join us for everything, because otherwise we miss you.
So this is the
Shabbat Shalom.
I have no idea how our wonderful president remembers all that stuff.
Oy.
Happens to also be Good Friday.
Mhm.
I think we're doing the eternal
Yeah,
law.
my son.
Yes.
We'll never know Friday.
54.
March
54.
Is that your jacket?
Adon olam Hashem haolam, v'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'et hasom v'chefso kol, azay melech Elohim, ve'acharei v'tchayim, ve'adon yoram, ve'hu haya, ve'hu over, ve'hu yeh, v'tifara, ve'hu echad, v'chad v'sheni, ve'am shalom v'yavira, v'reishit v'shitachli, ve'lo ra'ov, ve'am Yisrael, ve'hu levi, v'chai olim, ve'tzur tachli, v'yitzara, ve'hu nisi, u'manos li, ve'not kosti, ve'yom be'kra, ve'yado, akid ruchi, ve'et ishan ve'ayimra, im ruchi ye'viyati. Adonai li,
Okay.
Oh, short for you. Please rise. Closing benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai
May
ve'yishmerecha,
the Lord bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai parav elecha ve'yichunecha,
Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai parav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May the Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. We'll say amen.
Amen. Good Shabbat.
Shabbat.